this evening. I'm here at Jess FM with my good friend. Do you want to say your name?
Ryan.
Well, say your last name too, unless you don't want
Ryan
to.
Craddock.
Ryan Craddock. And we are doing a new show, and the new show is called People in Your Neighborhood. I love it.
I like it. It's catchy.
Right? And Ryan has one of the best radio voices, or People in Your Neighborhood voices you're probably going to hear on this show. Tell us why that is.
Well, I am a full-time producer with Shaw Spotlight here in Lethbridge, which is, for those that might not know, is the community channel formerly known as Shaw TV.
Da, 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 da.
There we go.
That is a mouthful. And we're going to get a little bit more into that later on. And we're going to tell you all about how you can become involved if you want to do what we do.
Yeah.
I can't guarantee that beautiful voice, radio voice, but I can guarantee the opportunity to share your message with a bigger audience.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So People in Your Neighborhood is just about stories and basically the people who live here in Lethbridge. And I wanted to get the info out and let you know about all the good people here that we have right in our home. I was going to say town, but we are a city. So but
Lethbridge is like a big town.
It is.
It is.
Yes.
We're a big city. We're closing in on the magical 100,000, but we still have a town mentality.
We still have that.
Which isn't a bad thing. It's a good thing, actually.
And there isn't a lot of traffic unless you're trying to get down to Riverstone and Paradise and through all the construction. But we could have a whole show about that. And
that's one zone.
And we're here to talk about people in your neighborhood.
Yeah.
And each time we have a guest, I invite them to pick a topic. And the topic that Ryan chose was creativity.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to tell us what about that word you like so much?
Well, that's probably the reason I work in the medium I do in television, because you get to be creative. You get to help people realize their vision through TV shows or an idea or a story idea or a documentary, etc. And we get to be creative. So we get to use really cool equipment and cameras and stuff. And we get to interview really interesting people. And so, yeah, the creative process when you're in media, that's the whole reason why you're there, because you get a creative outlet for your cravings to be creative.
Well, that's right. And the sky's the limit.
Right.
I mean, we chose creativity as our theme, and we chose a completely black background. I'm just
Technical difficulties. Anyway.
Just joking.
Just joking.
Anyway, so with our creativity as our theme, I thought we would get into a 20-question firing round.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm ready.
So I searched online how to express creativity, and they came up with these 8 ideas.
Okay.
And I thought I would use these 8 ideas creatively to form them into questions.
Oh, okay.
For you.
Okay.
So here we go.
I'm ready.
So the very first question, or the very first way to be creative, is to write your own story. Decide what about your life matters to you or is important, and do that. So I'm going to ask you, what would be the title of your life story? That's a big one to start off with.
That is. But you know what? You know how there's the comedy movie Anchorman, The
Yes.
Legend of Ron Burgundy?
Oh,
Mine would be Cameraman, the Ryan Craddock story. There you go.
See, I knew these creative questions would not be hard.
No, they're actually. Well, let's keep going, and then I'll make that determination.
That was a great answer.
It
by
was
the way.
though.
Yeah.
I'd like to think so. People may disagree, but.
And Ron Burgundy and Anchorman is kind of fantastic.
I love that movie.
Okay, easy one. What's your favorite book?
Ooh, anything by Stephen King.
Did you see our horror mystery episode of the Soapbox?
I did.
Stephen
That's
King.
one of the parts of my job. Soapbox Union currently airs on Shaw Spotlight.
That's right. Why
And
not throw it out?
That is one of my jobs as well, is to vet content that ends up on the channel so that it fits our CRTC guidelines, basically.
Perfect.
So.
All right, more coming. So anything Stephen King? Have you always liked kind of horror suspense?
Yeah. Well, not the gory,
Okay.
bloody kind of everybody dies kind of horror. I like more like Stephen King, and actually, I almost prefer his stories like The Green Mile
Oh.
or
okay.
Shawshank Redemption. Those ones I almost
Okay.
prefer, but you know,
You're
guilty
open.
pleasure, guilty pleasure. You know, Pet Cemetery. Why not?
Okay, I do have to tell you a funny anecdote.
Uh-oh.
My daughter was writing her PAT.
Yeah.
No, not a PAT. Maybe her final. And she said...
SAT?
No,
Or
she's
maybe
in
they
grade,
don't do that in
she's
Canada.
in grade 7. So
Never
it
mind, they
must have
don't
been
do
a
that in
final.
Canada. That's an American thing.
Oh,
Anywho,
man. And she said, Mom, I wrote my story. It was an English one. She said, I wrote my story, a horror story. I thought, to my horror, why? Why
Okay.
choose this genre? And she said, well, it wasn't really my fault. The question said, you throw a stone and it skips across the water, and the stone comes skipping back. So I thought, well, how's that horror? And it turns into this bloodbath of uncles eating
Oh, no.
children.
Oh, no.
Anyway,
oh,
much to my chagrin.
much to your horror,
That's right.
your child wrote a nasty story. Anyway, but
I'm
yeah,
hoping
like, so
they
yeah,
don't-
I would prefer
Okay.
more of those stories. But yeah,
Okay, so the next thing to do to become creative is to take up an instrument, play a new melody, a new song. So these
Okay.
next questions go along that. If you were an instrument, which one would you be and why?
the piano, just because I like
Aw.
it, actually.
Do you play the piano?
No, but
Well, you
I've
look-
always,
you look
I've
like
always
it.
wanted, but I've always wanted to actually learn, and I kind of wish I had been able to take lessons when I was a kid.
It's
like
never
piano
too
lessons.
late.
Well, I know they teach adults too, so. But yeah, I've always kind of wanted to learn it. Plus, it's, you know, you can be creative with that kind of music too. So.
Have you heard of this thing called YouTube? It teaches you piano.
YouTube, what is that, Danielle?
Stay tuned to our next episode.
Stay tuned to our next episode when we
find
show
out.
you where you can be creative. All right.
No, you can't. Have you seen where it doesn't even teach you
Oh
notes,
yeah,
it just
I know.
shows you
They have
the-
guitar lessons, piano lessons.
Yeah.
Like you can learn everything, I think, on YouTube.
Pretty much. Even my daughter with her French horn plays like show tunes on the French horn.
Really?
Via YouTube.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Right?
Nice.
Okay. And on the Song of Music, what is your favorite singer, song, or just top 5 if it's really hard to choose?
Does it have to be current or past?
Anything.
Well, my current favorite, and I'm kind of addicted to them and can't wait till they come to Lethbridge, is Walk Off the Earth.
They're coming to Lethbridge?
Oh yeah, this August, Whoop Up Days.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Whoop Up.
You betcha. But yeah, the Beatles, kind of
Okay,
a classic.
classic.
Tears for Fears.
Oh, yeah.
I'm more of a, well, I was raised with parents that were very much into like what they call oldies now. Though
Okay.
it's sad. They call 90s music oldies now. Isn't that ridiculous?
No, retro.
But anyway, I had a
And
bit
you
of
have
a
to
hard
scroll way down to find your birthday.
I had a bit of a heart attack when I was listening to a local, I won't say who, but a local radio station, and they're like, oldies from the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and 90s. And I'm like, 90s? Anyway,
90s. We
90s.
made it.
Ouch.
We made it.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's the oldies now, apparently.
Now this next one, I'm not sure about, but I think so. The third tip on being creative is getting involved with your local theater. What is your theater experience?
Zip.
Serious? Nothing?
the
No
most-
high school drama?
Nope.
High school
The
musical?
most theater experience I've had is when I go shoot segments for New West Theater. Seriously, no. I mean, I took drama in well, I guess it's middle school now, but
Were you going to say junior high?
I was going to say junior high because I went to Wilson Junior High, not Wilson Middle School.
Shout out
But
to Wilson.
anywho, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, so no, never did theater. Though I
Never.
have an interest now, as I've gotten older, in
Okay.
possibly doing voice acting because I have a voice actor friends who live in Calgary who do it professionally,
Okay.
and they're very much like, "Well, do you want to learn how to do this?" And I'm like, "Well, hell's yes." So yeah, So
Well-
I'm kind of looking into possibly getting some skill upgrades on that front, and then maybe I might try that. So I guess that's kind of sort of theater.
It is. It definitely
Yeah.
is. It definitely hits in the creative realm.
Yeah.
Also, I think you should start reading books and sell them to
I have a
others.
friend that does that, actually,
Okay.
and I went to high school with her, and she's actually quite successful at doing the book narration, I think they call
Yes.
it. Yeah.
Audible. Does she sell it to Audible? Or
Well, I don't know if it's Audible, but she does. Actually, she just went to, they did some kind of a narrators conference or something she went to,
Yeah.
and got to go to like New York, and I
What?
was like totally jealous. And
See, so when you discover
So, yeah.
these new talents, you can get cool trips out of them or anything. That's awesome.
it's a benefit of being, it's a way of being creative. Let's face it.
So what do you think stops us from being the most creative?
Criticism.
Criticism? Or-
Especially if you don't know how to take constructive criticism, that can be really difficult,
Yeah.
because that's one of the things they tell us at Shaw is, so basically, long story short, I'll try to make this short, but essentially,
We got till
we're
7:30.
we're responsible for producing these mini documentaries, and through the process of doing it, we have to have them vetted by at least 3 of our peers, and
okay.
it can be like, it's constructive criticism, but you know, it's hard sometimes because you can be like, oh, they don't like my, but it's how you take it. So I would say, if you are being, like, if it is constructive criticism on something you have created, you just have to take that with a grain of salt and understand that it's for your benefit, right? It's someone telling you that maybe you need to improve here, improve there, or maybe I wouldn't do this next time, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay, but what's hard about the creative process is these are our creative babies, and we're giving birth to them, and someone says, your baby is deformed.
And that point, that point has been raised, but you still no, especially if
I
it's given
agree.
in that context. If it's given in the context that it's constructive criticism, yeah. I mean, if you're holding up a painting and someone goes, "Wow, that's a piece of crap," well, that's pretty rude, and you should probably not talk to that person anymore. But if they're giving you constructive criticism, that is different. That's usually for
So
a
if they
good reason.
constructively tell you it's a piece of crap.
Well, they won't. Nah.
I'm teasing. No,
Yeah.
I do believe that people who know, who are
Yeah.
further along can teach us. And however they decide to teach us, if we can take it all for our learning, we
Yeah.
will only be that much better of a producer or creator.
That's my point. It
Yeah, I
only
agree.
makes you a better producer in front. You
Yeah,
know,
for
your friend Cammie told me when we were shooting a little project for Shaw Spotlight, she had no idea that that was something she was capable of. And to me, that's great. That I love hearing that sort of, like, and I gave her some feedback, but she took it the way it was presented, and she'll make those changes, and it only makes her better. And it's amazing. I love it when I see people realize creative potential that they didn't even know they had.
Well, I don't know if this totally fits in creative potential, but I decided last week that I wouldn't say no to things just because I was no good at them. And so it had been probably 20 years since I went golfing. And my husband said, come in this golf tournament with me. And I thought, oh no, please no. And then I just remember hearing in my head, you just said you wouldn't do things just because of fear or that you were no good at them.
Right.
I thought, here I go. And so before the golf tournament, I'm introducing myself. I actually had to recruit someone for sunscreen because I didn't want to burn. And then I'm kind of apologizing. Well, it's been a while, so mostly my job here is just to entertain and be
Right,
whatever. And I hit 3 good shots. One was on the ladies' longest drive, and I won.
See, you should be proud of that.
Yes, right?
Be proud of that.
I only had 2 other good shots. One hit a tree and one...
That happens to everybody. That happens to everybody.
But had I not even tried... I don't
Then
know.
exactly, had you not even tried, would you even?
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Okay, so, and I do want to get to this, so I'm going to...
'Kay.
We'll go quickly. 4 is take professional style photos. And I feel like now that we have cell phones and camera's always with us, that's kind
Yeah.
of easy. So your life in 5 photos. Go.
Okay, picture of my cat, picture of me running a camera, picture of my wife, Cynthia,
Yeah.
a picture of my family, and I guess, that's a tough one.
Fifth
I don't
one.
have a 5th one.
None.
Well, I guess like a picture of, well, I guess like a picture of like, well, it'd be kind of lame, but a picture of a CD because I like music.
Okay.
I guess.
Okay, there's no
Yeah.
lame pictures.
Yeah. So,
I
yeah.
won't critique it.
Yeah. Fair enough.
All right. So the next one is study a language. Do you have any other languages that you speak?
I wish I did.
You wish you did. If you could speak any, here it is. What would it be? Which one would you choose?
I wish I was bilingual. So French, English, because, we're Canada. And,
Well, that's right. It does help out.
but yeah, like, I mean, I know I have a friend who's Polish and he doesn't really like being bilingual, but I personally think it would be interesting just
Right?
to know that, to have that capability, but
With how small the
alas,
world
I
is.
do not.
Okay. So, oh, wait, you did say French. Okay.
Yeah.
The other way is taking a cooking class. So you know what my next question is going to be about. Favorite restaurant here in the city?
Strangely enough, Humpty's.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Yep.
Shout out to Humpty's.
Yep. It's funny, like,
Okay, so what
my
do you-
wife and
what
I
do
are
you
like,
get there?
what are we going to go eat? I don't know, Humpty's. Well, off we go.
Okay.
What do I get there? Usually the pan scrambler.
I was going to say the scrambler.
The scrambler? Obviously, you're a patron of theirs as well, so you're
I've been
familiar.
known to Russell Doors. Okay.
But I would say a follow-up is my wife and I both like Japanese food. So we do go to places like Osho's and those kind
And
of places.
the other question I have is, what do you love to cook when you're making it yourself?
Just pasta, like spaghetti or macaroni
Okay.
or
The go-to meal.
yeah, pasta.
Okay. The other thing is to embrace your inner artist is another way to produce creativity in your life.
Okay.
And so, who's your favorite artiste? Or what genre?
I like abstract art.
Okay. Do you have a favorite?
I don't have a particular favorite though, but
Okay.
an abstract.
Fair enough.
I really enjoy the art that kind of makes you go, like, what exactly are they saying in this? Like, when it's not obvious, it's more like, like, what is their statement in this? I enjoy that more.
Okay, we'll get through the rest of these. Well, what would your superpower be?
Ability to fly.
What's your favorite color and why?
Blue,
Why?
just because.
He's blue, abadi.
There goes the song.
What's your karaoke jam? Do you have a few? You said you're a music person.
Yeah. Well, I would almost say like, everybody wants to.
Come on, sing it out.
Yep.
Okay.
Tears for
and
Fears.
How long have you been married?
Almost 11 years.
Woo! Where'd you meet?
Here in Lethbridge.
Or
At the
Here
university.
at Jess FM.
No, here in Lethbridge at the university. Through
And-
friends of mine.
What's your wife's best quality? Amongst the millions she has.
I guess that she cares for me.
Aw,
Yeah.
that's lovely.
Mhm.
All right. Well, I don't know if we hit 20, but we've got to be close.
Okay, fair enough.
But I want us to get to this part because this is a really exciting part.
Okay.
Of one of the reason, not the only reason you're here, but for the
Right.
people in our neighborhood, is to explore your own creativity. I want you to tell us about the opportunity that Shaw Spotlight has for viewers like you and people like me and our community. What can we do?
Well, with Shaw Spotlight, we're a community channel here in Lethbridge. We've been around for, over 20 years at least.
Yeah.
And it's an opportunity for local folks like you and I who have ideas or a particular message they want to get out, or We even have a show that is a local troupe of professional wrestlers. I believe one of your DJs is part of that group, the Pure Power Wrestling group, and we air essentially their wrestling matches on Shaw Spotlight. So we have quite a gamut of shows, from shows produced by the U of L to stuff from right here on Just TV. And it's just really a creative outlet for local people that have, like I said, as they have a message or they have a show idea or they've always wanted to, conquer a fear. That's what I get from Cammie, by the way. Is she was like, well, I don't know if I really want to do this. And then you throw her in front of a camera. She was the natural.
That's right.
And I've had many success stories like that with people as well, that you put them in front of a camera. Like, I have a volunteer who's a former child actress. She used to be on Disney Channel. And
Cool.
so she has that sort of background, but
Yeah.
it kind of keeps her skills up, because she is an actress too. Like, she acts in some of the local theater and such, but it's a different avenue for her to,
Yeah, and one thing that I liked about Shaw Spotlight is that you don't have to do live. So you
Yeah.
can, and they'll actually teach you how to edit, how to...
That's right, yep.
There's classes that you can be a part of.
Yeah, if you want to learn how to run a camera, if you want to learn how to brush up your editing skills, if you're already doing YouTube videos, maybe you're a vlogger and you just want to improve your shaky video camera footage. Well, not criticizing, just that's
Constructive
often a
criticism.
hallmark. That's a hallmark of some vlogs. But we can show you how to make those better. And actually, not only that, we have equipment that you can borrow for free
For free! And it's cool equipment.
to help you realize your creative vision.
So tell us about some of those things.
Well, one of the things that I was just kind of mentioning, I didn't bring it. Dang it, he should have told
know,
me.
I
I
didn't
should have brought that
think.
thing. But anyway, for those techies out there, it's called the Osmo 2. And what it is basically...
I feel like we're in a commercial.
It's
Your
like a
voice is-
jib. It's like a jib, essentially, for a stabilizer. So you mount your phone in it like this, and then the idea is you can move around, but it keeps the phone stable. And you can also even track someone's face, so that if they were walking along going, hi, blah, 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 then it keeps that shot still
Nice and stable.
and
not
stable.
Shaky,
So we have that. We also have like a DSLR kit, which is pretty fancy.
which is awesome.
And it looks like the image quality on that is just superb. It looks like you're shooting with a film camera. And then, of course, we have some older, I guess we call them ENG cameras, but they're kind of you've seen them, other media have the great big cameras on their shoulder. We have a couple of those too, which still work and they still produce a good picture. But things
and
like
it just
that.
looks so cool.
Well, yeah. I mean,
It's nostalgic.
I
retro.
was gonna say though, yeah. I actually had a manager though that was like, yeah, that looks a bit retro. That's why we need to move to the newer technology. Fair enough, I said. But yeah, there's lots of creative opportunities too, at least because we have all kinds of shows. I mean,
Yeah.
and people keep bringing new show ideas to me too, which
New
is great.
ideas, like the people in your neighborhood.
Like the people in the neighborhood. So yeah.
Who are those people?
I don't know. Well, we're going to find out throughout this series.
That's right. Stay tuned. So
Stay
if
tuned.
I have an idea, what would I do? What would be my first step?
The best thing to do is visit our website, which is shawspotlight.ca. Then you go to the section called Volunteers. There are at least 2 forms you'll have to fill out. One is just a basic application form.
Yep.
Tells us who you are, what your info is, etc. And the other form is your pitch. So what you want to do. Do you want to have a show with professional wrestlers? Do you want to wrestle Cammie on a show? Do you want to wrestle Jess? I mean, it's up to you.
Sky's the limit.
Sky's the limit, but or if you want to have an interview show. But basically it's your pitch, and then you're telling us what you need.
And the one thing that I liked about it is when you fill out the application form, there's all the different ways that they can assist you.
Yes.
That you can, the equipment you can use, and it just guides you through the process really easily. It's super user friendly.
Yeah, it's super, and then it comes to me, and then and of course there's different ways you can do it. You can do it assisted, meaning I myself or a volunteer helps you create the show, or you can do unassisted, which means you shoot it, you edit it, you hand it in to us every week, like Soapbox Union, and we air it.
Yeah.
Free airwave, or free airtime access.
Yeah.
That's the other benefit
free
as well.
editing equipment, free teaching. It's just a great community program.
Yeah.
For all of you want to be actors, actresses, or you have this great idea, or you want to vlog, you just want to record your story, Shaw Spotlight will help you out. Isn't that so cool?
Even in the past, we've had reality style programs, we've had cooking shows, we've had fishing shows.
I like the poetry reading.
Oh yeah, we have Owl Poetry, the
Poetry.
Lethbridge Poet Society. Shout out to Terry Petts.
That's right.
We do a monthly taping of the open mic poetry at the Owl Acoustic Lounge.
That happens the last Thursday?
Last Thursday of every month. And that actually has been quite a successful show. People are seeing others on there and going, hey, I saw you on Shaw Spotlight.
Well, it's a cool idea because you can write your poems and they give you 5 minutes or
5 minutes,
5 minutes to read or recite as many poems as you want to share.
Yeah.
And then it's a way to another creative outlet.
That's right.
In the city, here in Lethbridge,
exactly.
We're bringing our own poets onto the screen.
But but I mean that's not to say like we have openings. So if you have an idea and you want to share it with us, that's the place to start, shawspotlight.ca.
And even if you have skills or talents that you want to share, or you want to be involved in filming or co-hosting, they can just get a hold of you at shawspotlight.ca and fill out the forms, and they email right to you.
Yep. They do.
Okay, well, to continue on, is there anything else you wanted to add to that?
No, I mean that's kind of our main mandate, is to give the community access to the airwaves, just like
so
Just
fun.
TV does. So
the other thing too, and I almost hate to mention this, but because I do believe in sharing all, you've told me you worked with some schools too, and this is a pretty awesome opportunity for educators.
Yes, actually, last year we did a series with Wilson Middle School, and it was called Wilson Wonders. And basically, it was kind of an interesting situation because the teachers actually put the kids to write it, perform in it, and star in it. And the result was kind of what you almost expect, but it was quite fun.
Yeah.
They, of course, they had to do the Diet Coke and the Mentos and the Diet Coke thing, but things like that. But they actually did some really creative stuff. And again, talking on creativity, these kids, I mean, you put them in front of a camera, and of course you're going to get, but once you locked them in and actually had them
settled them down,
and they actually had some really cool segments within that. Like
that's cool. If I can ever get Lethbridge District 51 to hire me, shout out to all the principals out there. My resumes are floating. I promise. Ryan and I will be at your school.
No, I mean that was the thing too. The kids got to participate too.
Yeah.
So we had like a GoPro. If you don't know what that is, it's kind of a little miniature camera, but it can take as good of a picture as a big camera. And we'd give that to the kids and say, "Here, I want you to film this scene," and they would kind of go crazy with it. But we got usable footage out of it, and again, it was a learning experience for the kids. They were loving it. They were like, "Oh, this is so cool." Of course, they always ask, "How much is it worth?"
Yeah. Don't put it in your pockets.
Or you bring the big camera. "How much does that thing cost?" I'm like, "Why? You want to know if you need to replace it?"
That's right. How much does it cost?
I would say at least over 10 grand.
Ooh.
Those big cameras? Yeah, they're not cheap.
But all accessible to the community.
All accessible.
Right.
That's right.
You can even use their studio.
Yeah, we have a little studio too. We don't have a fancy green screen like Just TV, but we have a little studio. It's about the size of this, and yeah.
Well, and I should throw a shout out. Oh, in case you're just joining us, which I totally forgot. We're almost at the end. But I should throw a shout out to Just TV too, because if you want to have a show, all you need to do is talk to Jess. He's right available on Facebook. And you could call him. I won't give you the number. He's really easy to find. You can talk to any of the hosts of his shows, and they'll be happy to pass on his contact info, or he's just right there.
Jess FM on Facebook, I believe.
Yes, or a YouTube channel, or whichever way you want to meet him.
YouTube channel.
There are so many ways in this city to get creative that your ideas need to be coming our way. So I did prep you a little bit about this one, because on every episode, I think humor is the best way to get through life and the best way to be creative.
Okay.
So I'm not sure exactly which story you settled on, but all the people in our neighborhood are going to have at least one story that they share that's funny to them, or something that fun happened to someone you know.
Oh, okay. Well, I can give you a funny story involving my cat.
Oh, yes.
So, at the moment, my cats are not allowed in my bedroom because I have one particular cat who, I swear, food is his life.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and every morning, and I mean, like, okay, you've probably all seen the YouTube videos and Facebook videos of the cats that are like right in your face and they whatever. And you kind of go, is that real? It's real. This cat would come at the same time every morning. I'm like,
you haven't filmed it though?
no.
You're sitting on $1 million. Let the cats back in.
Yeah. No, I did not film it.
So if you do open the door, that's what he comes into.
He would come in and wake you up, paw on the nose.
Awesome.
But yeah, it's true. For those who don't have cats, they will do that.
It's not just camera tricks.
You didn't think cats could tell time? They can.
They do. They know.
There is research. They can't exactly tell time, but they have a concept of like, oh, it's, when they can see that it's not dark anymore. So
They're like, hey, buddy.
Hey, yeah. Hey.
You got access to the food.
Yeah, I'm hungry and you're not feeding me. What is going on here?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, you had said you did like cats. I'm glad your funny story had to do with cats.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is, so we decided to do a segment called Creative Cats. And I wanted to know who you thought was a really creative person.
Well, you know what? Funny, it's actually Terry, like just getting to know her. She has a photography business on the side as well, too. And her photography is lovely.
Wait, you're saying Terry?
Terry Pets. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Terry Pets. She has a photography business, and her photography is just, it's gorgeous. And then not only that, she's this poet, and she writes beautiful poetry. It's been on the Owl Poetry program on Shaw. So yeah, I would say shout out to Terry.
You chose a person in our neighborhood.
She's a creative individual. The creativity just flows out of her. Runner-up would be Kat Karasage, who I'm also working on for a mini doc actually about her.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
She's known
Can you
as
give us a little teaser?
Well, she's known as the mother of poetry in Lethbridge, and I wanted to find out why. Why is she called that?
That's right.
And because she's another one of those creative types that dabbles in everything. She paints, she writes poetry, she plays music.
It seems once you start being creative, you can't stop.
Yeah, right? Like, you need that outlet. You need some sort of outlet, whether it's music or art or something.
So, sadly enough, we are getting to our creative outlet.
We're
out
in
of
end
time.
of our creative outlet. Okay.
I don't even know if that's a phrase. You can critique that later.
That's okay. No, you're good. This is your show.
That's right. That's right. Oh, but you actually have the goodbye, right?
Do I?
That
that's
is
right. Yes.
That is what we did agree upon.
Okay.
But I just wanted to say thank you so much.
No, thank you, Danielle. This is awesome. And see, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Being in front of a camera. Do you honestly think you would ever?
No.
You probably never even considered media.
I did
when
really
you were
want
in
to be
school.
on Kid Street. I was practicing my clap, but I never got
Oh my
to go
goodness,
on
you're
Kid
dating
Street.
yourself by
I know.
talking about Kid Street.
That's
Because
a
I
Kid
remember
Street.
that too.
All right, but we do need to go.
Yes.
So creativity, I'm going to let you have the last word. Creativity, you just have to try it and be okay with failing and having it be ugly and just being a little kid again and getting back up and then doing it. And you be amazed at what you can do.
Yeah, for sure. And Shaw Spotlight and Just TV are definitely places that will help you be creative in a television or media aspect.
Thank you.